I know you wrote an article, and let's take us through this. Dissecting a frustrating first half of the season, good, bad, and what to watch for in the second half. Take us through those, just kind of what you came, how you arrived at those conclusions.
Yeah, I mean, the record should have been better, right? 3-5, they lose 4 close games, combined 9 points for 4 of the 5 losses. So that's part of the bad or the ugly. The good, you had Cade York hit the, game winner in the opener against Carolina. I think Jacoby Brissett's connections with Amari Cooper and David Njoku and Donovan Peoples-Jones have been part of the good, and it may be, unexpected that Jacoby would play this well and have such strong connections with that trio of targets. And then you had the Myles Garrett car accident that was a big story from the first half. You had the injury situation. We covered a couple of those guys. Plus, you lose 2 middle linebackers for the season, and Anthony Walker Jr. and Jacob Phillips. And then when you look toward the second half, part of it's Deshaun Watson, right? What does he look like when he comes back after being 700 days between regular season games? Where are the Browns when he comes back? How many games do they have to win with him if they're trying to get to the playoffs? Those are things I know we'll monitor from here until he comes back. Just how good a position are they in, and can he get them over the hump? And then how does that offense look with Deshaun Watson, right? Kevin Stefanski has not had a top-tier quarterback in his time with the Browns. And I think his offense has been pretty good without a top-tier quarterback. But how does it look with a guy that not only is he a big-time passer, but a big-time running threat? And you see it across the league. Justin Fields against Miami yesterday, or even Josh Allen running against the Jets. That's such a huge part of some offenses, and that's something Deshaun Watson brings that the Browns just haven't had. And I think we'll start to see at least some of the expansion of Kevin Stefanski's playbook with Watson.
Yeah, and I think that's a really valid point, because it gives you another way to pressure the defense. Think about how much more effective Nick Chubb is, because they're going to do the little run-pass option, read type of deal with those two. And it sets up to give you a lot of things that a defense has to consider.
There's no doubt about it. And that's just strictly from like a game plan perspective, right? You can run him, which frees up one more blocker. You run Deshaun Watson. Or you're right, you can run kind of a zone read thing with Nick Chubb. The defensive ends have to be honest, because if they get up the field too quickly, Watson can cut underneath them. And then you have just the kind of improvisational aspect of having a big-time athlete at quarterback, is he can scramble for first downs. And we've seen Jacoby Brissett do that a little bit, but not to the degree that Deshaun Watson can. And if you remember some of his highlights when he was playing, they were remarkable. The sacks he would evade, then he'd make a throw downfield, or he'd run for a first down or run for a touchdown. You can't even plan those things, but they're backbreakers for the defense. So I do think there's layers there with Deshaun Watson. I don't know how much of it we'll see in the final 6 games. Depends how quickly he gets acclimated to the situation, especially with all that rust you would assume he has. But I do think this offense has the potential to grow immensely with him at quarterback.
Yeah, I would agree. Just keep in mind it's an elite-level athlete that will be playing quarterback. And the Browns really haven't had that in a while. And I don't remember the last time you could say that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure they have. I mean, Otto Graham was an elite level guy back in the day, right? I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. He was a all Big Ten basketball player at Northwestern, I think. But obviously Bernie wasn't, and Sipe wasn't, and I got a hard time coming up with that guy, especially when you combine the. He's a really good passer, right? The last time he played a full season, he led the league in passing. So it's not just he's a runner. He can do it all, assuming he comes close to playing at that level he played at, before all the off-field stuff.